Good morning. Today is like day 3 of me adjusting my body clock. It's about 8 a.m. and I'm going to skip riding my bike today, but I still want to upload a video, so I want to talk about some cycling gear, specifically cycling shoes. These are my first pair of clipless cycling shoes. They're nothing fancy, just a simple XC pair of shoes that are very generic from Taobao. At that time, I first wanted to try dipping my toes, see what I did there, into cycling with clipless pedals and shoes. So I don't want to spend a lot of money trying something new and then hating it. Hence, I've decided to go for a very cheap generic pair of XC shoes. There's quite a lot of life on the sole for this, and as you can see, I'm using the Quoc clipless system. That said, the upper of the shoe is not doing so well after about 6 years of using them. So another reason that I have stuck with this pair of shoes for so long is because the fit is really good for a really cheap pair of shoes. It just goes to show that price doesn't really determine comfort or fit, and I keep coming back to this pair of shoes, choosing this shoe over my Shimano or my Quoc. And over time, since I don't wear those, I have gotten rid of them. So I have decided to try and find a replacement for it. After searching a few months, I've decided to get the new Gran XC from Quoc. There are some considerations that I went through before choosing this pair of shoes. So Quoc has a wide range of different off-road cycling shoes that are based off this Gran model. The Gran 2 has one boa dial, and some of them come with the lace option. So I've decided to go with the Gran XC because of 2 boa dials. As you can see here on my first pair of shoes, there are 2 boa dials. Well, I can't exactly call them boa because they're not boa branded, but they do work the same as boa. You just turn the knob and tighten as you go. I have come to really appreciate the convenience of kind of turning a dial and tightening your shoes up and being able to adjust the fit on the fly. While my feet doesn't exactly expand or shrink in size really drastically over rides, I do appreciate the ability to kind of make adjustments while I'm riding a bike. So the second consideration that I had choosing this pair of shoes is color. There are many off-road shoes that are made in black or somewhat dark colors because of how much they attract dirt. And these brands obviously want your shoes to be looking as clean as possible, and black seems like a very obvious choice. But for me, I would prefer to have a bright color shoes, so choosing off-road shoes is kind of difficult for me. I like the idea that wearing bright shoes and spinning the pedals would create another like moving point on a bicycle that and people can see you, drivers can see you from afar. Coming in at over 500 Sing dollars, this pair of shoes is considered pretty expensive for me. And within the box, they did say that if you put on the clips, there is just no way that you can return this pair of shoes. So do be mindful of that if the shoe is ill-fitting, but if you've already put on your clips, you cannot return them. This pair of shoe fits kind of weirdly in the very beginning when I first got them. I assume that these were meant to be more of a European fitting pair of shoes. So this portion right here cuts into my ankle in the very beginning when I first wore them. Quoc's YouTube channel has a few advice on how you can make your pair of shoes more fitting. Ultimately, the idea is the same. You basically keep wearing them. The sweat and heat that you generate from your feet will mold shoes to your feet's shape. But for me, the feet and the toe box and the feet of the shoes are not the issue. The main issue really is that this portion here is built just about 5 millimeters too high for me, and it cuts into my ankle. I'll basically mitigate this issue. I've added a 3 millimeter foam padding under the insole of the shoe to raise my ankle slightly higher. For like about, I rode like this for like about 3 weeks, and have since taken out the insole, and this has basically solved my problem. So right now I don't need the 3 millimeter shoe insole to feel comfortable walking in them. The other thing I want to talk about would be this dowel system. Once again, I can't actually call them boa system because they actually aren't. So you turn the dowels to tighten the cable, and that wraps the shoe around your feet. However, the traditional boa systems means that you pull up to release the cable. In this case, you kind of turn it back towards you, and the cable would release itself. I guess for those who are familiar with the boa system, you might be a little confused with how this works, but I don't think it's going to create a lot of inconvenience. It's just a slight inconvenience to learning how to use this new fitting system. So I mainly use this pair of shoes riding around Singapore on road. I rarely go off-road because I mainly commute between my home and my work. Having a comfortable pair of XC shoes also means that I can get off the bike, stop and eat, especially I eat my dinner before I ride home. If you are having issues with arch support, Quoc does provide a few of these extra arch support for you to fit inside your insole. And once again, if you put cleats on the shoe, you cannot return this pair of shoes. So I have very small feet. I am a male size 39 or size US 7. So these pair of shoes do run quite narrow. They are cross-country pair of shoes after all, so you can see the toe box here isn't very wide. It could be a personal preference. I feel like in Singapore, my feet get pretty warm from riding, and so the heat dissipation on this pair of shoe isn't very good. However, I'm quite used to riding in this Singapore warm weather already. I'm not sure if it affects people in these other regions. Overall, at over $500, I hope that this pair of shoe will be able to last me for the next maybe another like 6 years. It's kind of a lot to expect for a pair of shoes that are this expensive. So do let me know, how do you feel about this pair of shoes? What shoes are you using right now? And I hope to see you soon. Okay, bye bye.